Welcome to the Age of Aquarius. Hello, Aqua Gang and Collective. These readings are for everybody in the Age of Aquarius. It's also your survival guide in the Age of Aquarius. We have a fascinating reading here, and it's talking about something that has either happened or is going to happen. For me, it already happened. And we'll get into that anyway. But infinite love and gratitude to all of you and and my team and the fact that we're still breathing and we're still here to do our missions, right? So the first card out was the High Priestess. This card here. This is somebody that's highly sensitive. The problem is with being a high sensitive is your gifts are also your bane, your Achilles heel. Being highly sensitive. You don't have to be an Aquarius, by the way, to have those gifts of being a high sensitive. That is someone that is highly gifted in Gnostic teachings, someone who's really sought out the knowledge, right? And part of the reason they do that is because they know what they know. They know what they're being told by their team, their guides, their inner voices, from downloads and etc., dreams, visions. But the problem is when you are highly sensitive, sometimes that can be a problem, especially when you go after something with gusto. King of Wands. King of Wands, card of Leo. Yeah, going after things with gusto when you're high sensitive can be a problem because not only are you a sensitive antenna, but your body is hypersensitive too for a lot of reasons. I call myself, and you guys may feel this way too, a canary in the coal mine. It's funny because we have the bird here and the bird here. Yeah, the canary in the coal mine. Yeah. Highly sensitive to toxins of any kind or what your body perceives as a toxin. Okay. Yes. Well, I'll kind of talk about what happened with me so that you guys understand the story going on here. But sometimes we make a judgment call, and it's not the greatest because we're going after something with gusto. And it's something that we really love, that we're very passionate about, but it's the devil. It's a trap. Okay? It's a trap. Yeah. So, in doing so, many of you, the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups are the clarifying on the Death card. Fate, right? It's your fate. It's your lot in life. And it can leave you distraught, emotionally depleted, and possible near-death experience. It's funny because I did see a reading that was warning Aquarius of a possible near-death experience. I experienced that last night. And the thing is, with what I have wrong with me, there's not a lot of doctors that are trained in it. So going to the hospital could even mean death because if a doctor gives you a drug or treats you in the wrong way and is not thoroughly versed in what the conditions that I have, they could kill you quite easily. So you try to handle it without a doctor because just the very idea of trying to go to seek medical attention could be enough to actually send you over the edge. So that's a thing. And then we have the Four of Cups. You see the woman sitting there disappointed. She's being shielded by a bird, likely your guides, your team. And they're telling you that you know your value, you know your worth. It was clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. You know your value, you know your worth. And you need to start treating yourself that way because the going after something with a gusto sometimes has drastic consequences, and you need to take better care of yourself because if you are highly sensitive, such as I am, uh, you just have to, okay? Then we have the Emperor card, clarified by the Sun card. Controlling your happiness, basically. Or you're letting it control your happiness. And then in the end advice part, we have the Eight of Cups, Temperance, and the Page of Wands down here. In this row down here. And that Ace of Cups is self-love. The Temperance card is the Angel card and some other decks. It's about healing and recovery. And then we have the Page of Wands. That's keeping a closer eye. See how that magnifying glass? Keeping a closer eye on your health and maintaining that. I know. It's not easy. It's not fun. For those of you that deal with things like what I do, it's overwhelming, but it's the price we pay for being a high sensitive, unfortunately. There's just some things we cannot do. Now, me personally, I have something called mast cell activation disorder. And well, it's a trifecta, a triad, in interesting trinities, right? Father, Son, Holy Ghost, right? When two become one, they create the third. Trinity. Mast cell activation disorder, Ehlers-Danlos, and dysautonomia. Mast cell activation disorder makes me highly sensitive to pollutants, chemicals, things my body sees as well, it sets off the internal warning system, basically. Things that my body are allergic to, which is pretty much the planet. And even the sun. No, I'm not joking. Look it up. Mast cell activation order allergic to the sun. Yep. And the rain. See the rain in this card and the sun here? See the rain? See all the flowers and trees and stuff? I'm allergic to all of it. I'm not kidding. I don't know if any of you ever saw the movie Boy in the Bubble, where he had to live inside of a hyperbaric chamber. That's kind of the way you feel when you have something like this, because you have to be on high alert. You have to keep your eye open, because something could upset your delicate balance. Unfortunately, delicate balance, temperance card. Yeah. So being a high sensitive comes with its flaws, unfortunately, but it's something we have to learn to live with. So that's what the reading's talking about. It's taking better care of ourselves. Some of you may have experienced this or had somebody close to you experience this near-death experience. And it was because of going after something you really like that is an entrapment, basically. For me, it was some food. And yeah, my there was a huge concern, because what happens is when an intense allergic reaction happens, it sets off a sudden adrenaline release, because that's your body trying to save you. Unfortunately, that puts your heart into a very increased rhythm. So much so that it's dangerous if you have any kind of heart conditions. Fortunately, I do not, but taking a hit like that can damage your heart, okay? And we have to take better care of ourselves, the heart chakra, etc. Because, yeah, taking a hit like that can be fatal. Absolutely. Damage is definitely done when you have an adrenaline release of that magnitude. Um, you know, with people with allergies, they carry EpiPens. I do as well. Mine aren't just the typical allergies. This is allergic to the planet and everything on it. There's people that are allergic with mast cell that are actually allergic to other people. We're talking about high sensitives. It's really interesting, because when I was in, I am in some groups on Facebook that are dedicated to Ehlers-Danlos, mast cell, and dysautonomia, and some of the natural alternatives you can do to help regulate. And somebody asked a question one day: how many of you are psychics or sensitives and have crazy stuff go on around you? And there was a huge number of the ones that actually stepped forward and said, me. You know how many of them didn't step forward that probably are and are just too scared to admit it? Yeah. Being a high sensitive, it's really interesting, because if you watch other tarot readers, they'll sneeze, they complain about their allergies. It's because they're a sensitive. And I know one tarot reader who came forward and said that she has Ehlers-Danlos. And she mentioned it because she had a ring on, and somebody was like, oh, that's a cool ring. Where'd you get that? Well, that ring was to keep her from dislocating her finger joints, to help stabilize it. And so I definitely understand what that's like to be a high sensitive and to have Ehlers Danlos. I myself have it. Many of us were gymnasts or dancers and quite good at it, because with Ehlers-Danlos, you are extremely flexible because your joints are loosey-goosey compared to the average human being. And that makes you an incredible dancer and gymnast, contortionist. But with those abilities, we pay a high price, don't we? Anyway, the bottom of the clarifying deck was again temperance, repeating itself, healing, patience, patience, kimosabi. Quit going after things with a gusto, especially things that get you into trouble. Page one's the devil. Yeah. So try to keep that in mind. There is also some other energy going on here. So that, what I just said, was for the vast preponderance of you. For others, you are connected to somebody that's a high sensitive, and that freaked you out that they had that near-death experience, okay? And they're telling you to keep a better eye, closer eye on your emperor, on your high priestess. These three here are the same person, okay? It's the same one. The one with the braids. She's got them rolled up here, but yeah. It's you. But they need to keep a closer eye on you. The signs that we're looking at here are Pisces, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aries, Sagittarius, and Aquarius, of course, and definitely Capricorn, because we have Capricorn here and here. Death card and Queen of Pentacles. We have Leo twice, King of Wands, Sun card. Okie dokie. And the reason I say Virgo is Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Wands are both Virgo. We got Sagittarius in the Temperance card, Judgment in the Libra card. So possible Libra involved. Now for others, the other possible energy is that you have a fire sign, or a fire sign that's being entrapped, or is trying to trap somebody, and the regret, it's not good timing. I don't know, something about, the readings have been talking about cages, being in a cage, being in a cave, feeling trapped, right? And this reading is definitely talking about this feeling trapped. It's funny because that reading that I did the other day that talked about the sun flares and something else to do with, well, first of all, the sun flares, yeah, that's coming again, according to the news. Look it up if you don't believe me. My readings are accurate. The other thing that I noticed is some ship having trouble, something to do with fire, the sun, and the James Webb Telescope got photobombed by a very large asteroid whizzing by. So the reading picked up on that. Also picked up on the sun flares. I got that one right. And so the sun flares, this King of Wands is like a hands-on type commander, somebody that's like in charge of a ship, a vessel, right? And lives hang in the balance, and that's his job to control that, control the sun, right? Control the outcome of the effects of that on their ship, on their see, we have a ship here, so there's that too. So we have a lot of energy here that's as above, so below, as within, so without. Um, but a lot of self-examination. Um, and uh, realizing that taking better care of ourselves is a very good idea. Now, the card that came out on the oracle is Touch the Sky, and I would have read it first, but they told me to save it for last. Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything in the numbers that really stands out. Not really. Um, Nothing except for we do have a couple of pages. Um, so nothing's really standing out to me. But we do have, this breaks down to a 5 for anybody interested in the numerology. 5 is change. Um, and we are going to have to change, or this is going to be a problem. Okay? So, touch the sky. This is lost in thoughts, isolation, and sanctuary. It's funny because isolation and sanctuary can be definitely the way many of these high sensitives feel, very isolated. Um, Very much Rapunzel in the tower. That's the way this feels too. A young girl with long braids looks down to earth from up in the skies. Air, right? Looking from the skies. Aquarius. The small bird on her shoulder keeps her company in her cloud sanctuary. She's holding one of her braids like a lifeline, as if she is expecting somebody to climb up to her. Sometimes we are so overwhelmed by our feelings and sensations, high sensitives, we escape into a condition of withdrawal and separation. It is hard for other people to follow us there unless we give them a sign that they are welcome. Well, here's your sign. You are all very welcome here. A safe place to talk about being a high sensitive and the obvious pitfalls that can happen when you are a high sensitive. When many of those tarot readers are high sensitives, and not just tarot readers, but energy healers, etc., channelers, you name it, high sensitives. And you guys know just as well as I do the price we pay for that. It can be quite high, and you can feel extremely isolated. But what I propose is coming out of isolation. Luckily, we have the interwebs, the internet, the interwebs, the double card, definitely. It can definitely be the devil sometimes, right? Some of the stuff that goes on the internet. Anyway, so community is important, and the internet can be quite a strong place for that, for the highly gifted, highly sensitive high priestesses. Especially when we're feeling very isolated in her ivory towers. Yeah. Looking down on everything else that's happening, right? See how this is her, okay? She's up here in the sky and she's looking down at the chessboard, okay? See the chessboard down here and all the people pulling the strings, right? It's very, very interesting Emperor card. But these are like lifelines to all the people. You can't do your job right if you don't take care of yourself and make these connections with others. See all the strings? She's trying to make the connection. And I've often talked about the chessboard because I did over, 23 years plus of in-depth studies on all the teachings, all the religions, and exactly what the hell is going on in hell. And yeah, hell's the chessboard down here. That's where we're all at. Tidbits of knowledge I want to pass on to you if you have not done that study, because you really need to have the FYI of where we're at. Yeah. But the beauty is we're entering into the age of Aquarius, and that's a huge shift in people's consciousness in general. And it's our job to make these connections and connect the dots and bring in this new age with gusto, with flair. Just be careful of the pitfalls of being a high priestess, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading helps you guys. It's very critical that you take good care of yourselves. Your teams are trying to shelter you from you. Yeah, sometimes, like for me, it was something I wasn't fully aware of being allergic to until it hit me within minutes of finishing my meal. And wow, yeah, I was in trouble. Fast, too. I mean, hit me hard, really hard. Yeah. Anyway, so near-death experiences. Oh, what fun. So rest, heal, relax, and then keep a closer eye on things. And those of you that are around high sensitives, do help keep an eye out for them. They need your help too. It's not easy maintaining being a high sensitive. Anyway, infinite love and gratitude. Please do like, sub, and share. It'd be amazing to connect with others that are high sensitives and, yeah, have to feel like a bird in a cage or Rapunzel in a tower, so to speak. Anyway, have a very grand TGIF, because this reading's for Friday. I'm doing it on Thursday, but it's for Friday. And although the energy, like I said, on my readings can be 3 days prior or 3 days approximate out, give or take. So some of you may not have experienced this yet. So this is a heads up for those of you that haven't gone through this. Hopefully this will stop that from happening if you hear this message. If you're high sensitive, there's something you are very passionate about that you really love, but it could mean the death of you. Okay? Anyway, take care, and yeah, More readings coming. Absolutely. And I plan on doing some other videos about the things that I learned over the 20 some odd years, 23 years or more, um, of all that study I did and my 59 years on planet Earth, the holodeck experience as a high sensitive. Interesting topics. Anyway, take care. Talk to you later.